Shalom. Call Halayim Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well and teach sound doctrine, and a strong shalom to the hopeful elect. Brother Leosh could come, GMS Cleveland, Lord willing back with another edifying lesson through the Spirit. Today, I want to briefly touch on Leopold II. This is just an example of, when the wicked rule, as a matter of fact, I'll get that. Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked, beareth rule, the people mourn. The Spirit had me watching YouTube videos on this devil, and he killed a lot of Jakes in the Congo. And after doing a little bit of research, I found out that was West Africa. So there's a good chance he was killing Jake, particularly the Northern Kingdom during this time. Salakia, the Southern Kingdom. Southern Kingdom. But Leopold II, just touch on a few points. It says king of the Belgians from 1865 to 1909, keen on establishing Belgium as an imperial power, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's the Spirit. One of the original members of the European Union. So it's in Esau's blood to, pursue Jake and kill us. That's funny. According to Esau, it says the aims of the European Union within its borders are promote peace, its values, and the well-being of its citizens. The EU was created as a result of post-war cooperation in Europe to ensure peace, prosperity, and stability on the continent. Obviously, that's, peace and prosperity for Edomites. (1993), shortly after. Well, not shortly after. Roughly 30 years after his reign. Anyway, Salakia, I was just curious. Because, you got to check sources to see if they viable, and you got to be thorough. We know what the scriptures say about EU, but what does Esau say about the European Union, Anyways, I digress. Jump straight to the part. It says the king then embarked on ultimately successful effort to make a vast fortune from his new possession. Initially, he was most interested in ivory, a material that was greatly valued in the days before plastics because it could be carved into a great variety of shapes, statuettes, jewelry, piano keys, etc. I'm not going to read all that. Jump down to the second paragraph. By the early 1890s, a new source of riches had appeared A worldwide rubber boom was underway, kicked off by the invention of an inflatable bicycle tire and spurred on by the rise of the automobile. And one of the videos covered that. Check out these two videos.
I have never.
They explain what's going on pretty well. The simple history one was pretty edifying. But saying all that to say, Esau covered, that's the spirit. Micah 2:2. I started at 1. Micah 2:1. Salakia, I'm talking too fast. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, right? Esau is the physical manifestation of the spiritual demon Satan. So when the Bible refers to the devil, it's not always talking about the spiritual demon Satan. It's referring to Esau Edom, who is the wicked, the left hand of the Heavenly Father, the sword that he uses to persecute the nations. Verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. If that don't fit this devil, this is just an example. There's plenty other wicked rulers, but the spirit had me come across this one. And that's the spirit that Yahweh Shemel Shah led me to this precept, because in one of the videos it mentions how many treaties that were involved and were broken during the time of Leopold. What will I could do some more research and figure out exactly what the treaties entailed. But Habakkuk 2:5, it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. And once you, Lord willing, check out these videos, you'll see that this devil caused a lot of people to die. The migration from Europe, Belgium, wherever they came from. And when I say they, I mean, the people who were under him that weren't in slavery. He brought foreign diseases into the land. In addition to how he treated his slaves, he chopped off the right hands of a lot of people, so much to the point where it almost became a currency. And the spirit of that man is back today in either a government official or, however the Lord played it out. But the point is that spirit, keep reading, it says, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right, so he wasn't satisfied with robbing the land of the ivory. He's seen the invention of the bicycle and all the other things rubber could do with the tires, and decided to work these people even more. And by these people, I mean the natives of the Congo. And they just say natives. A lot of people after 70 AD, from 68 to 70 AD, migrated to West Africa. Jake was spread out all over. And Jake would experience those curses. Let's go. Deuteronomy 28:29, it says, and thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. It was up to pretty much, I don't want to say a lone survivor, but somebody who was very fortunate to escape from that situation to tell the atrocities of Leopold II. And the latter end of the voice is the point. The verse is the point. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. So it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. If you're Jake, you're going through it. But the worst captivity is going to be here. In Babylon the Great, jump down to verse 33. But as a matter of fact, I'll keep reading. 31. Thy ox shall be slain before thy eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thy ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face. And this is a great example. And this is how you know that those people in the Congo during the time were Israelites, because, they would take their wives and children hostage. And if they didn't meet a quota, their hands were cut off. This damn devil. And once the quota was met and they proved that they met the quota, they would make the Congo men, exchange 2 of their goats to get their families back. So if you're telling me this is not the damn devil, you out your fucking mind. Excuse my French, but, every day we're finding a way to expose you fucking devils. Deuteronomy 28:31, it says, Thy ox shall be slain before thine eyes, thou shalt not eat thereof. Thy ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thy enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. That was just a quick point, because in most cases, if people refuse to work, they would burn down villages and kill livestock. It got gruesome. And this is history that's swept under the rug. But, the Confederacy is put in our face. 9/11 is put in our face. This tranny panty agenda is put in our face. This shit is sick. Verse 32, it says, Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Great example. I think I was... Jump down to this last paragraph. With women as hostages and men forced to tap rubber, few able-bodied adults were left to hunt, fish, and cultivate crops. Millions of Congolese then found themselves suffering near famine, which made them vulnerable to diseases they otherwise might have survived. Furthermore, as in any society where men and women are separated, traumatized, or in flight as refugees, the birth rate dropped precipitously. No one will ever know the precise figures, but from all these causes, demographers estimate that between 1880 and 1920, the Congo may have been slashed by up to 50%. Yeah, from what I heard, it's like roughly 20 million people at the beginning, and yeah, that's accurate from what I read. Yeah, it's more information. I wanted this lesson to be brief. It was just proving that this devil is the so-called white man. Doesn't matter if he's in Belgium, New York, France. The spirit of Satan is dwelling in these Edomites. And they prove it. Verse 32 again, it says, Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail will longer for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. And we usually associate this with the transatlantic slave trade, but it's plenty of examples showing that the curse has followed us through the different captivities, different generations, because the curse is, they shall pursue thee and overtake thee until Yahweh buys us, redeems us. This is the fruit of thy land, and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Right. Since I quoted it, but before I move on, finish the point, this devil goes in the lands for the resources, and then somehow, some way, he gets cheap labor. Bottom line, that's because his military might, the sword. The Lord gave him that power. During the times of the Greeks, that evil multiplied. And once Esau got the juice, He took full advantage. Now the nations are going to feel his wrath until Yahweh returns. Deuteronomy 28:45 says, Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So like I mentioned before, we usually associate, the Deuteronomy 28 curses to, the transatlantic slave trade, but we can't forget about the Congo. We can't forget about, the Trail of Tears, the Sub-Saharan, the Silk Road, all the various captivities that we were in as a people, northern and southern kingdom. Because the curses follow us no matter where we go. If an Israelite is born in Japan, best believe he's going to be a reproach, a byword, and a proverb. Even if he is mingled in really well and looks like the other nations, it's just going to be certain barriers that his spirit is going to have to endure because he is an Israelite through the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Nahum chapter 3 and verse that's not what I wanted, but that's not what I wanted. Salakia. Nahum 3 and 5, it says, Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, his armies, and I will discover the skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. So slowly but surely, this devil is being exposed. Whether we dig into the history or we look at what's going on right now. We're exposing the plans of the wicked elites, the NWO, the plan to have everybody, C to the H to the I to the P. The plan to create, docile, idiotic people that you could rule over. We're exposing your wickedness in all levels, all shapes, forms, and facets. And we do that humbly through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Because even conspiracy theorists without the Holy Spirit are just that. It stops at conspiracy. Well, Salakia, it stops at theory. The conspiracy theorists become factual, become prophets once the Lord, sheds light on these situations. And he gives us the breakdown of Psalm 64, Psalms 83. And we see it implemented in our everyday lives. Like I said, I didn't want to make this long. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. And Lord willing, I'll be back soon with another one. Until then, Kwame Yasharala, Abba Babal, and the Kazakh Shalom to the hopeful elect and their families. Shalom.